Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
There we go. A little bit of technical problem there. They clicked the wrong button. How is everybody? Thank you for joining us. Hello, Father. Oh, I got again. I don't know what's going on. I have a delay going on in my ear, so it's going to be a little bit confusing, but we'll work it out. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, PD Rich. Thank you, Derek Max. Thank you, Disaster. Thank you, Father Miller.
Thank you.
I wanted to do this for ages.
Yeah, I know. I missed the Wednesday stream.
Yeah, 100%. So
listen,
I
was just going to say, Wednesdays are usually my busiest day because I have not only CCD, which is our catechism for kids, but then I also have a special mass in the evening because of the thing that shall not be named. We have a mass for those that might be at risk. So we usually get about 5 people coming to that. And then sometimes every other week is the high school.
Yeah, I have a question for you that I've always wanted to ask. What exactly is a mass? What does it do? What do you do for it, and what does it do theologically?
Well, theologically, basically what we believe about the mass is I'm trying to think of how to say it. It's basically representing the Last Supper that Jesus did on the night before he died. We believe that at the Last Supper, he transformed the Passover and instituted the sacrament of the Eucharist. So when he took the bread, he said,
"This is back up. I don't know what it is." What's the Eucharist?
So we believe the Eucharist is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. So when we say the words of consecration, this is going to get a little philosophical here, but we believe that the substance of bread and wine stopped being bread and wine and is transformed into the flesh and blood of Christ.
Oh, so wait. Okay, I think I understand. So you're saying the Paschal sacrifice, which is basically turned into the bread and the wine, was then replaced by Jesus and he became the sacrifice, right? That's the idea.
Well, it's. I have a whole bookcase on this type of stuff. Basically, it's representing the one-time sacrifice of Christ on the cross. So just as, if I understand correctly, Passover is like the Israelites taking part in the Exodus from Egypt. The Mass is representing the sacrifice of the cross. So when Jesus crucified,
so basically, by taking Mass, you get to access that power, right? That power of that. Oh, incredible. So that actually similar to Hanukkah, the Hanukkah candle. By looking at the Hanukkah candle, you access that power.
Well, one of the things. Oh, okay. I'm seeing PD Rich's comment. I'm getting feedback. For those watching, I'm having a little trouble connecting to my Bluetooth on this. Let me see if I can redo this again. One of the things I would say is look up there's been instances in history where not only did the substance change, but the accidental qualities, the things that we perceive. So when we celebrate Mass, it still looks like bread, it tastes like bread, it still looks the same as it did before the words of consecration, but there's been instances in history where not only the substance, but the accidental qualities changed as well. And one of the examples would be the Eucharistic miracle of Laciano in the 8th century. There was a priest that was having doubts about the real presence of the Eucharist, and when he was saying Mass, not only did the substance change, but it became flesh and blood. And they did test in it in 1971. It turned out to be heart tissue and AB positive blood.
That's crazy.
But that's what we believe about the Mass. We believe. Okay, this is saying that my Bluetooth is still discovered. Let me see. I'm trying to get this thing connected.
What's it? Okay, listen. I'm having people saying that I'm echoing as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close down my browser.
Okay.
And I'm going to reopen it and try again. If it still doesn't work, I'm going to use my laptop instead. Okay. So I'll tell everybody about coming to America for a minute while I close this one.
Okay, so as I was telling the rabbi before the stream started, Coming to America Part 2 came out today on Amazon Prime. I woke up a little bit late this morning. It's 8 o'clock here in Nebraska. I had mass at 7, so I'm on my second cup of coffee. Woke up a little bit late, so I started watching the sequel to Coming to America, and it's okay. I mean, it has Leslie Jones, which I'm not a big fan of, and she is playing Leslie Jones pretty much like Ghostbusters 2. So, but I mean, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall is great in it. They have the barbershop scene again, and they're playing up the bad puns, Kunta Kinte and all that. But like I said, let me check on this thing. I am about 40 minutes into it. It's about hour and 50 minutes. So, that's about all I can say about it. It's basically,
Oh, it's still echoing. It's still echoing.
Okay,
Hey,
is it my part?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let me take you off, see if I echo. 1 second. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, it's you. It's you.
Sorry, I'm having headphone troubles. Let me try this again.
Do you have any with the cord?
Not really. Let me try this one more time. Hold on.
I'm trying to work out how we could do it. So I would normally talk to fill up the dead air, but I don't want to echo.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'll mute you.
Sorry.
For
I thought I still had an hour to prepare for this.
Okay, right. I've got you muted, so I won't be echoing. Give me the thumbs up when you want to go. So let's think about what subjects we want to what things we want to talk about in geekdom today. I really want to talk about the Mr. Potato Head and Dr. Zeus. I think that's an important thing because there's something that's I think really at the core, at the absolute core of this like cultural divide we have. This, and I think the people who are controlling the media, controlling who control media, control all these franchises we love. I believe everything traces back to a genuine, absolute, complete hatred of God. Right, just a complete hatred of God, and I think we see that all through every strata of it. Everything they do. And I think that's where the this whole attack on genders is, not agenda, on gender, on the separation of gender, because I was just watching the final episode of WandaVision. Rabbi Miller, any luck yet? No. What? Let's try. Okay, yeah. Let's add him in. How are you doing now?
Yes,
Brilliant.
I can hear you on my headphones.
I'm not echoing either.
Sorry about that. I had to repair the headphones with the computer and all that.
Always the way. So yeah, listen, I was just watching Wonder, but fine. So it's very, very, very clear. It's the MCU. It's 100% the MCU. All the characters in it are female. Everything is female, and everybody's like, well, what's your problem? What's wrong with there being female heroes? There's no problem with being a female hero. There is a problem with transposing masculinity and femininity, right? And I believe the core of it, I really, truly believe the core of it is a complete hatred of everything holy. I think the division between male and female.
I remember watching Endgame in the theater and letting out a groan when they had that A-Force scene with all the women superheroes. It was forced.
It is, but but it's more than forced. It felt like it was forced down our throats, right? It was like just like why?
And I mean, I liked Scarlet Witch against Thanos. I mean if Captain Marvel took down Thanos, that would have just ruined the whole movie. But I mean, Scarlet Witch was really good in that movie.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, look, the problem with WandaVision in general is Scarlet Witch is okay, but she's okay as a side character. She's and same with Vision. I mean, she's not going to be able to carry the whole thing. Oh, sorry, Heather Sulu's here. I'm sorry, I missed you. How you doing? And here as well. But yeah, no, I just think, and I don't even think they realize that it's a hatred of every biblical value whatsoever. But I think that's 100% what's driving it, and that's why they are so desperate to make male female. I mean, yeah, like, well, I don't know if you have this in Christian theology. We in Judaism we have this idea that before, oh yeah, you must have this idea because it's spare rib, that when God first made man, when he first made Adam,
we have Genesis.
But yeah, exactly. So, oh yeah, you were there for that.
Old Testament.
So they take they put Adam to sleep. So, but before it puts Adam to sleep, man and woman were together. They were joined in one being, and it was not good. It was not good, right? And so. Well,
God said, I don't know. I mean, it said when Adam discovered Eve, it said, "This is my flesh. This is bone of my bone." This is why a man leaves his father and mother is joined to his wife. The two become one.
Well, yeah. The old joke we have is that God goes to Adam and says, "Adam, I've got this great idea. I've got this fantastic idea. We're going to make you a partner. She's called woman. Okay, it's going to be wonderful. She's going to be smart. She's going to be able to do everything. She's going to help you. She's going to be your complete connection." He said, "There's one drawback." Then what's the drawback? He said, I got to take a side from you to make her. So Adam thinks about it, goes, what can I get for a rib? don't say
I was going to say, so did you watch Good Omens last year?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think of it?
I thought, I mean, listen, I didn't take it seriously on a theological level. I thought it was trying to be silly. It seemed to be a spiritual successor to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to me. You know, it has seemed to be that kind of whimsy. David Tennant's demon was way too charismatic for a demon. I mean, you know, demons are supposed to be bad people. You know, it's like right. The problem with that is the Neil Gaiman. I think the people writing it, they don't really understand humanity. Yeah, because to understand humanity, I think you need a biblical outlook, right? Because that great episode of Star Trek got it. When you a human is a combination of his positive and his negative side. We call it the Yetzer Hara, of the evil inclination and the good inclination, right? So the good inclination doesn't have that drive to be able to do much, right? You need that and the evil inclination is just an animal, doesn't have the intelligence to be able to control itself, right? So, but what they did was they just split them in, and basically the angel was the wimpy guy, the good guy, and the demon was the bad. And they had to join together, which is what humans have to do. You ain't going to make yourself into that amalgam.
Yeah, and I mean the problem that I had again is I actually was talking to our exorcist about this. I was asking him if he had seen it, and I was explaining the plot of it to him. But the idea that the Archangel Michael is going to use profanity is not cool. Well, okay, I mean,
but wait a minute! I got to get you to back up. You were talking to an exorcist? Okay, whoa! How do we miss that? That got buried in the headline. How does that still happen?
Every diocese has an exorcist.
Get out of here! I had no idea.
No, seriously. Yeah.
What do they do? What's their day-to-day?
Exorcisms.
Wow. So when was somebody called in for an exorcism?
Well, I mean, again, it's the problem with movies like The Exorcist. I don't exactly like those movies, but I mean, before The Exorcist gets called in, I mean, they have to go through certain tests to make sure it's not a mental illness or anything. And we do. Well,
yeah, that's what I would have thought.
And seriously, this stuff does happen. And
really, wow.
I don't really try to ask many questions about it because I don't like how they turn this stuff into entertainment. This is why I'm not in the church.
This is the only thing I would be asking. And this is the only why. It's like, okay, forget that stuff. I want to know about the So.
I haven't asked any stories about stuff he's done.
Okay, I got some exorcism stories. I got one actually. I think I can find the recording. Really scary, genuinely scary, because this is a Jewish exorcism. Happened in Jerusalem around in the 90s, right? It was this woman's husband, right, was had taken control of it, and you could hear in the background all these like rabbis chanting. You have to have like the way they do it in Judaism. You have all these rabbis saying, what's it called again? Psalms. So the Jewish psalms. Yeah. It's called. They're all saying that, but you've got to shout at the demon or whatever they put the invading entity to make it speak, to get it out. And he was like saying, "Well, what do you call it in Hebrew? Makrelaka," and like he has to and it sounded very real to me. And the way they get it out apparently is, but it makes a little like it blows a little hole in the small toe, and the spirit goes out through that apparently, but you heard it, right? It was the freakiest thing. Okay, we're talking about freaky deaky religious things like that. This is something I've actually seen in real life. This is bizarre. Okay, there's a Kabbalistic cure for hepatitis, where you get pigeons. And you have to do it the same way. Have you ever heard of this? No, I've seen this in real life. Okay,
I didn't know. Jewish exorcisms is new to me.
Well, we get about, baby.
But there's the meme going around. Everybody makes fun of the Catholics until an exorcist is needed.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. At that point, faith lapses back in the other direction. So this cure for hepatitis, you get pigeons, right? And you have to turn the pigeon's head. You got to do it the spirit way, and put its anus on your belly button, on the belly button person with it. And like you do that, and you hold it, but you don't hold it hard, and suddenly the pigeon goes, and it dies, right? And you take the pigeon off, and you put another one on. And you keep doing that until the pigeons stop dying. And then the hepatitis go. And I've seen it work. And we had a case of hepatitis. We had an outbreak of hepatitis in my seminary.
I would say, how do they keep the pigeon on then?
You have to hold it in this way, but it's like you have to turn the head one way and the body that way, and then you have to. It's a way. And when I saw it and when I heard about it, I said, "No, get out of it," because there's tons of things in the Talmud of like these cures, right? Like these brain ailments and things like this stuff. And that's not real. And I saw it happen, and the guy was better the next day. It freaked me the hell out. That was very, very strange.
Well, I know for like priests that get trained to do exorcisms, they actually have to go to a school.
Well, I guess it's something that you don't want to wing. I think it's something that you want to know what you're doing with it.
Well, I mean, you're fighting the devil. This is not something to take it seriously. I mean, you just don't go into it.
Yeah, no, listen, again, this is like you need. Yeah, don't do this at home, kids. You need an expert for this one.
And I'm not the expert on that. I'm definitely not the expert.
No, but you know who to call. But are there any new news stories from the week that you would like to talk about?
I just got the new Keanu Reeves comic book yesterday.
I saw. How is it?
It's good. I mean, it's different. I bought 3 varieties, and then I bought the 1 in 50 variety cover.
What's that? Do you have it with you?
So there's there's the 2 generic covers, variety A, variety B, and then there's like the special retail. There's like 1 in 10, 1 in 50, 1 in 200, and they're supposed to be really limited and everything. So I bought the 1 in 50. So like for every 50 comics, you get 1 of these. I believe it is.
That's pretty cool. Wow.
So I think I paid $15 for it.
Yeah, listen, it was a great campaign.
I gotta show you. I don't know if you saw it. Let me get the comic. It's right. It's on. I'll be right back. It's
no problem. It'll
take 5 seconds.
While you're doing that, I was saying hello to Kip Ellis. How you doing? I just saw this. Can you do an exercise on Kathleen Kennedy? She appears to be under control or something. Look, that's what they all are. That's really my point. I think. I keep saying that I got to try and translate into English terms.
No, I can't really do an exorcism on Kathleen Kennedy.
Look,
that's more like that would be like the cause of original sin, I would say.
Look, she's in way too. Wow, when did you get that? That's so cool.
I bought that on eBay. That is the first appearance of Captain America in modern Marvel. This was in 1964.
Cool.
I think I paid about $40 for this.
Really? That's pretty good.
I mean, I've seen this one sell for like I've seen this sell for at least $100 on eBay.
Wow, you did well. But somebody was it? So asked about Kathleen Kennedy. This is the right after I finish this video is dropping. Love
Mr. Mouse. I shouldn't admit it, but I love Mr. Mouse.
Yes. It's a sad indictment of society. The only place you can get real truth in media now is in a cartoon, right? And even then, they got to be circumspect, right?
South Park.
I would imagine.
I mean, they nailed it with Banned in China.
Oh, right.
And I still love Mr. Mouse's rant. Who thought that they could talk trash about the Chinese government?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But again, I'm amazed that they were able to do that, right?
Well, they got banned in China. I mean, they literally got everything removed in China because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
The Chinese do not mess around, right? Do you have any idea what's going on with the like what their problem is with the Uyghurs? What they called again? There's the group of people in China that are being forced into essentially they're called re-education camps.
Is that feng shui or is it the Muslims or?
They're Muslim. They're Muslims, but
I'll be honest. I really haven't followed that as much. I mean, I know that.
Well, you can't follow it because they hide everything about it. Then the media doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and they filmed that at Mulan in that part of China where they're being persecuted.
Right, but it's like in England. I saw on Facebook a British news report about what goes on in these re-education camps. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. They're pronounced Uyghurs. It says Heather Sulu, and like the world just keeps silent. It's unbelievable, right? It's breathtaking.
China pretty much. I mean, look at how much China owns in Hollywood.
It's not good. Well, one of the things that Trump wanted to do was enforce divestments from China. From that, and again, that's one of the reasons that things went down the way they did. Yeah, I would say we can't talk about current day politics too much because with I don't think you can suggest a political opinion. Is that correct?
I can't come out and say you have to vote for Trump or you have to vote for Biden. I can't say that. I mean, you know me. You already pretty much know what my views are on this stuff.
Right.
And I mean, we're day 44 into no press conference from Biden. Did you see the clip yesterday?
With Nancy Pelosi and
it just cuts off.
What we're doing now, Nance? Where am I? What's going on?
It's like I'll take any questions now, and then the feed ends.
Okay, so listen, it's always a mistake. Yeah, the expression is God moves in mysterious ways, right? And I think it's always a mistake to try and work out what's God doing, what's going on there. But I want to. It's a hobby of mine. It's something I do. I want to proffer a theory for you that I would say the areas of America most connected to God, Texas, the Bible, they were the areas most hit, I think, by the extreme weather over the last month. Would you agree?
I mean, again, I'm not good at the conversion, but I mean, we had wind chills down to 40 below.
The pictures you showed me were insane,
that's nothing. I mean, that is nothing. Okay. So I had to cancel the weekend masses so I have 3 parishes,
right?
And
you frozen. Either you frozen or I frozen. One of the two. Well, I'm going to keep on talking in case it's not. Well, maybe I am frozen. Can anybody in the chat let me know?
I'm back. I'm back.
You're back.
I back. Okay, so to get from Parish A, where I live, to Parish C is 30 miles.
Right.
And again, I'm not good at the conversion. I don't know how much that is in kilometers and everything. This is how screwy it is. And it's not bad. I'm not complaining on this. 3 parishes in 2 time zones.
Well,
my third parish, my third parish is like 3 miles into mountain time.
Right.
And I live in Central Time. So it feels like I'm doing word problems. It feels like I'm doing story problems when I have to go up to that other parish. Just because it's like, okay, I gain an hour when I travel. What time do I need to leave if I need to be there at this certain time? But no, getting back. So we had snow on 2 Sundays in a row, and I made it 5 miles out of town, driving on the wrong side of the road because it was clearer on that. Before I said, forget this, I turned around and went back and canceled the masses. The second weekend, it took about an hour to drive 30 miles.
Wow.
And I mean, and this is less than 5 inches. I mean, we've had at least a foot before. I mean, so the pictures I showed you is nothing compared to what we can get at a time.
They were seeming pretty scary to me. So this is my thinking on all of this. Firstly, I genuinely believe that it appears right now the forces of pure evil have taken control of the government, of media, of everything. I think that's the appearance it has. And my strong feeling is I think this is God setting things up for an Exodus level event. The function of the Exodus, right? Well, again, look, I might be wrong. We'll find out soon. I might be wrong, right? But the function.
Well, I know we talked about this before.
Yeah. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. Well, I hope I'm right as well. It'll all work out nice in the end. But the function of the Exodus was to destroy the Egyptian worldview, which was a completely evil. Like it was completely against everything of biblical values, which I think we can say that quite well about the. Again, I'm not pointing fingers at any specific person, but I think generally speaking, they are against that. When all this severe weather started happening, I think if the day of judgment is coming, I think everybody has some kind of like thing to face. I do think that was, for a great extent, for the peoples of faith getting it over with. That was the day of judgment for them, and the fire and brimstone. Maybe more common in California. I don't know, in San Francisco.
And again, I mean, coming from my faith background, I really don't think the day is coming yet. I mean, you look at everything that's going on, Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss, warning labels on the Muppets and everything. But I don't know. I was going to mention one of the things I have to do as a priest every day. This is what's called my breviary. Okay. And so this is basically what we do as priests is we're required to pray the Liturgy of the Hours every day. And it's basically praying the Psalms of the Old Testament.
Right.
And one of the things that we do, one of the hours that we pray is the Liturgy of the Hours at office readings. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Well,
Let's see.
Friday, yeah. Okay, office of readings, okay.
Look at the reading. First reading is from...
Okay, well, let me make you picture. Instead of me straining, I'm just going to make you big. There you go. That's better. Turn back the Lord your God. He is kind and merciful. I do believe that. Is that the first reading from the book of Exodus? Look at that. The promise of the covenant. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're working our way through the book of Exodus right now. So today I'm reading from Exodus 19. And then the second reading I have to do is from a treatise against heresies by Saint Irenaeus.
Okay, so, that one's not in my ballpark.
That's okay. I mean, it's one of the fathers of the church.
Right.
But the idea is it's broken up into 5 different times that we pray throughout the day. And usually each hour is 3 different psalms. So the idea is in the 4-week cycle, we go through all 150 psalms.
Wow. Okay. May I make a suggestion to you? Right. There's a lady. She's in her mid-80s, right? And she is perhaps the most biblically knowledgeable person I've ever met. Right? She's an absolute genius. Her name is Rebetson Sapora Heller. That's what you call women who are very knowledgeable. You call Rebetson.
I wouldn't even know how to begin to spell that.
Doesn't matter, doesn't it? But she, I've heard one of her classes on Psalms, and she goes into she uses the original Hebrew, obviously, but she goes into like the deep meaning of every word and the layers and layers and layers and layers of meaning. I had no idea that Psalms was so incredibly layered, so incredibly deep. There's so much going on in each one. It blows my mind. But I don't know how much of that has made it to you guys. But I tell you, it blows my mind. Just going into the language, the original language is.
Well, let me show
incredible.
you my bookcase. So that top level is my commentaries on the scriptures.
Oh right, okay.
My office is a little messy, but you see my little wall of toys and my Tom Baker next to our Lord.
I did to the Lord. Wait, go back. And let me make you.
I hate doing this thing. Come on.
I do like you got Tom Baker slightly lower than Jesus.
Yes.
Very good. Fine. Just so everybody knows, this is a regular thing. It's for me. It's Friday. It's 4:30, and around 5:18 is when it's called candle lighting. When you light candles for Sabbath, and you got 18 minutes after that until you can't do any more electronic stuff. So I'm going to be going at this is going to be like a regular time slot, but we're going to be alternating between channels each week. So next week we're going to be on Father Miller's channel,
and I'm going to be coming from a different location next week.
Oh, where are you going to
be? I'm going to be heading into the big town to get away for a few days. So
how do you go to the big town to get away? You normally leave the big town to get away.
I'm in a town of 500, so it's not really a big town where I live.
That's not a big town. That's not a big town. Does Amazon deliver to you?
The what?
Does Amazon
deliver? They do.
Well, in that case, you're in a big town. it's the same thing as a big town. Fine. Do you have any? I have what in mind, but do you have any good good pieces of media, be it movie, TV show, book, comic book, that's really good for the theologically minded that you would recommend?
Well, I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with how Tolkien's Catholicism played into Lord of the Rings.
I'm not. I know how it Catholicism played into Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Well, that wasn't exactly. I mean, C.S. Lewis was not Catholic.
He wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I thought
never
it was
converted.
Very deep Christian.
He was, and I mean, the thing is, C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were really close friends.
Oh, yes, I doubt that much. I did know. That's correct.
Yeah, but I'll have to send you. There's a guy by the name of Joseph Pierce that wrote a book talking about how the Catholicism can be seen in Lord of the Rings, and one of the things that stands out for me is the limbros, the bread that satisfies.
Right. Yes.
That's a parallel to the Eucharist.
Okay. Eucharist. Is that the loaves and the fish? You got it again. I know really. I know very detailed stuff about some things and nothing. What's the Eucharist?
Well, okay, so it's going back to what we were talking about the Mass. So we believe that when the prayers are said, that the bread and wine, basically the Eucharist, it becomes the body and blood of Jesus Christ.
Oh, fine. So that's the.
So Eucharist is the communion. There's many terms that we use. Communion, the body and blood of Jesus Christ.
Okay, I've got a real question for you. By the way, let me show you a couple of things. So it last Friday was the Jewish holiday of Purim, where everybody gives out like look. So I bought this to show my live stream last night, but I forgot. Yeah, I got these little bottles of booze everywhere that kind of came with them. We have this one over here is a bit of vodka. This is whiskey, but the guy, I think he made it himself and put it in, bottled it. But this one,
I'm a Scotch person myself.
So, but this one, I imagine communion wine is very much like this. What does communion wine taste like?
There's a variety of types we can use. I mean, It has to be natural wine. So, I mean, really, idea of no preservatives or any additional things. The type I use is a red wine, Rosado, I believe it's called.
Okay. So this,
there's a wide variety of wines that we can use. The one priest at my last parish, the school that I taught at, used a white wine because red wine affected his migraines that he was suffering from.
My wife
white
the same
wine,
thing.
yeah. So I mean, there's not one set type of wine that you have to use. And the wine that he used, I actually hate it because it was really sour.
Oh, so this one again is super sweet. It's caramel. It's like Mogan David. Yeah. Do they ever use that? That would be hilarious. Could you imagine? you go to the cupboard and you take it.
No.
See, this is why I'm not a priest, because I would do that. I would so do that. Oh.
No, I basically buy my wine from a Catholic bookstore. Okay. They are able to order it in, and it's basically the only bookstore in our diocese. So they serve all like the 130 some parishes that make up our diocese.
Okay. Is that across America or just in your area?
No, just in our state. So,
wow, that's a lot.
Diocese. So this is an example of how the church took, like, from the Romans and incorporated it in. I taught church history for 9 years in our high schools, and the Emperor Diocletian greatly persecuted the church in the 300s. But one of the things he did when he was the emperor was he broke up the Roman Empire into little sections, and he named them after himself, called dioceses, from Diocletian. And that's basically the way that America is broken up into different dioceses. So in my state of Nebraska, I really don't care if people know where I'm from, I guess. I don't really try to advertise it a whole lot. But there's 3 different dioceses.
Look, let me tell you, no one's coming to try and find you. I've seen the snow. I've seen how far away you are. No one's coming to find you, okay?
Yeah, but you say certain things and they'll try to cancel you. I mean, I told you my homily got...
I wouldn't know about that.
Well, I told you my homily got muted the other day.
What got muted?
My homily.
Okay, what's a homily?
Okay, so I'm going to throw this back at you because I want to ask questions about the Sabbath and all that.
Go.
But I'll explain the homily. So basically what happens is in the Mass, we have the Liturgy of the Word, which is a reading from the Old Testament, one of the Psalms, and then on Sundays, a reading from the New Testament, and then one of the readings from the Gospel. So the idea of the homily is to focus on what the readings are saying.
Also, it's okay. In Judaism, we call that a shir. That's a class. But yeah, fine. So what you give those? So you basically pull things together and you come out with a central theme.
I mean, you could do a homily which is focused on the readings that we just heard, or you could do a sermon which is on like a given topic.
Oh, I hear.
It's not necessarily based on the readings. So I don't want to say it out loud. I mean, I told you it was on one of your streams that it was probably going to offend the overlords because some of the subjects I was going to get into.
Listen, I did a review of this thing called "It's the Sin." Same thing, exactly. Like all I did was state the very open biblical position that's been written in stone, literally in stone, for over 2,000 years. So like
I committed the cardinal sin of dead naming.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, I'm not sure.
I mentioned the former Olympian that's now no longer competing for the male team.
Right. I can. Have you ever heard Ricky Gervais talk about that?
I love The Office. I mean, I love his... I mean, I know he's a big-time atheist, hardcore atheist.
But he's an atheist I would love to talk to. I would love to have a conversation with.
I'll be honest, he's the only reason I watched the Golden Globes last year.
Yeah, well, most people. It's the reason nobody's watched it this year. But he's on Netflix. It used to be on Netflix, where he I think it was his last one, where he talks about that, saying, dead name is insane because I understand if nobody ever saw you go, you're on boxes of cereal. What am I supposed to do? Like what? Like that happened. It's printed. What the hell?
Yeah.
So it's absolutely.
So what
insane.
happened was I streamed the Saturday night mass, the vigil mass. So, and I gave the homily. Oh dear, disaster area. Yes, it is.
What?
He asked if is it Lincoln? Yes, that's the. But I'm surprised. Omaha is the bigger city in our state.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I was streaming the mass. I gave the homily, and I came back and noticed that people were saying they couldn't hear me. The microphone was muted, so I figured, okay, it was probably a freak thing. Maybe StreamYard didn't recognize my microphone or anything.
Right.
So I did it on Sunday. I streamed the next morning. I gave the same homily, made sure the microphone was unmuted this time, and when I came back from the homily, it was muted again.
So okay, without mentioning it, obviously, what can you hint what it was that was so offensive?
Well, basically the tea community.
Yeah,
because Biden issued 2 executive orders shortly after becoming president, basically overturning the Mexico City policy, which prohibits federal funds from being used for abortion throughout the world. And of course, we're against that.
Right.
Then he also allowed women to be able to. He allowed people that think that they're one thing to compete in the sport that they identify with.
Right. Effectively ending female sport, and female athletes are livid about it. Yeah. Exactly. This is why I'm saying they are the representatives. I don't think they're doing it knowingly, right? But I think they are the representatives of Satan. I just do. Well, what is it? What do you want me to do? Like, how much more like demonic can you get? I mean, I understand you're not walking around with red horns and a tail, but everything you do is so. I mean, how bad is it? You got a freaking Jew and a Christian agreeing. Like, really? We haven't gone on for 2,000 years, and now we're friends. Okay. That's how crazy it is. And
I don't know.
Both of us, we were okay. We were okay to put up with just about it, and I think that's why things are going to hit here, because we were okay to put up with a lot of stuff we should have said no to. Right? We should have said no.
And I mean, and as I mentioned to you, in this country alone, and this is going to get into the theological part. I mean, there's been 60 million babies killed in the womb since 1973.
Right.
I mean, we believe that's one of the sins that cry out to God for justice.
I believe it is. Listen, here's the thing, though. I mean, and I've talked to me, and I understand it's a very controversial topic, which is why we're having this stream, because I wanted to be able to talk about these sort of things. But it's the how do people know that it's not killing a person? Right? I mean, how are you so sure that you're not killing a person? I think it's I would hedge your bets, maybe. I don't know. No, I don't care. If the head's out, he's still not a person. Like, what the hell? Like, how
but the thing I honestly believe, have you ever seen 4D ultrasounds?
Yes.
Yeah. I honestly think as the technology becomes clearer, it's going to become more obvious to people that it's not just a blob of tissue.
The thing is, they know it's not. That's why they suppress everything that to show it's not. Remember that there was a great movie. I think it was distributed through the church somehow. There was a great movie where somebody who worked in one of these clinics actually saw it, right? And they saw the baby trying. What's that? Unplanned. That's it. They saw the baby.
I've not seen it. I heard of it.
Right, and it was so completely suppressed. Well,
I went to. So I did my seminary training in Philadelphia.
Right.
And I got to go to one of the pro-life banquets there, and they actually had a survivor of an abortion give the talk.
It's incredible. Listen, God gives us free will, but sometimes he saves. Sometimes he acts, and honestly, I just think that it's so openly anti-God right now. I think God doesn't have a choice but to step out the shadows. I don't think God has a choice. I'm a really big believer of a loving God who cares for each and every one of us. Yeah, it's just I just don't see God having much choice at this point. And I think that's what.
As I told you from the Christian viewpoint, I mean, Jesus says only the Father knows. Well, again, this gets into our understanding of Trinity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Right.
So we believe only God knows when the final day is going to happen.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I want to be clear. I don't know. This is me going. I bet that's going to happen, right? And a lot of times when I went, I bet that's going to happen. It did, right? That's
you remember
prophecy.
everybody was thinking 2000 was going to be the big year.
2020. 2021. It looks like. I don't think it's any. But I don't think it's any connection that I think 2022 is actually going to be the year when things really do change. But I think that will be 7 years after same-sex marriage became legal. So I think the problem. I think the problem with that is I'm not sure if this is part of Christian teachings, but what the reason for the flood coming, one of the reasons for the flood was coming was the legitimizing of not traditional marriages, right? It was essentially same-sex marriage, calling it marriage, and that's why the flood came, right? So
it was basically total depravity.
But again, look out your window. You really look and see it. I mean, honestly, every system that we believed in, that was check and balance. The free press, no. Democracy, no. The only thing we have left now is God. And tell you, they don't like us clinging to our guns and our religion. They do not like that. And it's the only reason they don't like the guns is because the guns can protect the religion. It's the religion they hate, right? If we hated the religion with them, we could keep the guns. It will be fine. But that's why.
So I did want to ask, so the Sabbath is coming up. What exactly do you do for the Sabbath?
Fine. So it's coming out. So we light candles. We light candles at sundown. We have it has to be lit by sundown. Normally women light the candles. It's the woman's mitzvah, the woman's thing. What is it? Then 1 second. I just want it. Was it? Rabbi predicted Trump will win. Then Trump's success on appeal. Then you know what? I had this whole conversation, right? I had this whole conversation with my wife. You know why I predicted that? Because the apocalypse is door number bloody 2, right? That was me hoping that the apocalypse wasn't going to come. This was door number 2. But listen, I've said this every time. I'm very, very very, very possible I'm wrong. But I think we're going to know within a month, right? It's that close. I think things are going to start going south within a month, okay? I think basically I got enough time for my Indiegogo to finish. And then probably about 2 or 3 weeks after that. But if nothing's happened by this date called Lag BaOmer, which is 30, it's about 70 days away. If nothing's happened by then, I'm wrong, okay? 100%. I think at that point, I think I'm wrong. Fine, Sabbath. So we light candles. Normally, we go to the synagogues are just opening up again, which is really kind of nice. So it's kind of a social thing. You go to synagogue, but I go more to see people, to hang out, to schmooze. I go in and out for the services, basically. But basically, it's to hang out. We haven't got back there yet. So then Friday night, we have like a family meal where we have three guests with us from 3 girls from a seminary. That's 3 girls. So they're with us. So the meal starts. You first thing you do, you wash your hands. You wash your hands in a special ceremonial way, 3 times on each hand. That's a reminiscent of the temple service. Before it's also to get away, deal with spiritual impurity. And then you say a blessing over wine. Normally people do the wine, then washing the hands, and then the next bit. But I come from a different tradition where they do the washing the hands, the wine, and then you say a blessing on bread, right? And it's called challah. My wife is just making it right now, so it's gonna be fresh out the oven. And then normally, this is just our thing. We have chicken soup. We have the chicken soup with cannella. with matzo balls, and then what are we having tonight? I don't know, chicken, potatoes. But it's a festive meal, and we don't we don't use like devices, internet or anything for 25 hours.
That's what I was wondering about, because I know within the different branches of Judaism they observe the Sabbath in different ways. Some are more strict, where it's like no work at all or no driving. There was a synagogue near my seminary, and every Saturday we would see them walking instead of driving.
Right. So when I bought my house, I bought the plot the closest to the synagogue humanly possible. Right? It's I am 2 houses away. I wanted to get the plot next to it, which was 1 house away, but it's the closest one humanly possible. When I used to live in Miami, it was a good 10-15 minute walk to synagogue. And then if you went, and then you often get invited. You invite people over for meals, for this festive meal. So my wife was really pregnant with our 3rd kid, and we're walking back from somebody. It was like about 20-minute walk. It's Miami. It was like the middle of the summer, and she is convinced that's what caused her to give birth later that day. 100%. So on the morning I go to the early prayer services that starts at. It was starting at 7 because everyone was doing it outside. We had to get out the space, but that's gone pushed back to 7:30. We're normally done by 9. We do we read the Torah, which is the Old Testament in a scroll, and we like serialize it. So we're in the middle of Exodus right now. That's coming to that's coming up to a head.
Because Passover and Easter are about the same time of the year.
Yeah. They kind of exactly. It's they are. By the way, if you ever seen the picture of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, the one of the many mistakes in that one is they have a big loaf of bread on the table. Right? What the, that's a bit weird.
Well, it's one of the reasons. So within the Mass, we use unleavened bread for the host.
I was just going to ask you that. So, is it like the matzot that we have?
Basically it's just wheat flour and water. No yeast, no nothing.
Because the important thing about being matzah that you use for Passover, you gotta do the whole thing. Not have any water touch the flour. It's got to be all done within 18 minutes. There's no time for it to ferment. So it's like really, you got to be really good. So like we do like a matzah baking. Well, we used to outside, and it's.
I'm trying to think. I think I've had matzah before. It's not like that. It's basically it's just a little white host, and it kind of tastes like styrofoam in a way.
Okay. Well, maybe we're on the same page. Here, 1 second. Yeah, I'll this. This is. How do I share this? Share screen.
And again, I buy mine through the Catholic bookstore.
It's okay. The Jews probably supply them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's actually religious orders that do provide them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. Let me see if I could bring up an example. Let me open it.
So, by the way, the square one is when we invented machines for it, and the round one is when it's made by hand. But all this stuff that it's like that's hard is not how they used to do it back in the times of the temple. And there's a resurgence of it now that you can make it so it's soft because you're supposed to roll. It's supposed to be like a what do you call it? A shawarma, a gyro. It's like, you're supposed to roll it, and you try and roll this, it cracks into a million pieces. But I found when you bake your own, you can make them so they're soft, right? 1 second. Is there a way let me see if I can do stuff. Yeah. There you go. That's when it comes out soft.
Okay.
So did you have a picture of it? Oh, yeah, fine. Let me.
Yeah, I shared it.
Okay. How big are they? Is
there's a variety of sizes.
Is 2 cents each? That's nothing. you can tell they're not Jews selling it.
Now, usually when I buy them, I usually buy them about 1,000 at a time. They come in a container of about 1,000, and probably it's about $15 altogether.
Okay, $15, but I guess you got to add the own faith.
But out here, I mean, with again, I have 3 parishes, 40 families, 25 and 20, so a container can last a while.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine. Fine. Listen, I'm gonna have to go in a moment. I want to make a recommendation for again for the theologically minded, of a movie to check out. Actually, yeah, fine. If I'm gonna make a recommendation, first recommendation will be this, which is now you've explained it. This is basically a homily, right? It pulls together the book of Jonah, the Tower of Babel, and the Ark, Noah's Ark, and the Raven. And it all puts it together in one seamless narrative. Go check click the link right now. I never sent you a copy, did I? I meant to send you a copy ages ago. Oh man, I feel really bad. Anyway,
okay.
So the movie I want to recommend, which again I think is a very theological movie. Oh, by the way, before I tell you, what do you think my opinion of the most religious movie of all time is?
Well, thinking of the movies you shared with us, I don't know.
Take a guess. Any guess?
Well, hopefully it's not Dogma.
No.
Oh dear. I'm blanking right now.
Okay, fine. But the movie that I still to this day think is the most religious movie of all time is Pulp Fiction.
Okay, yeah. I remember you said that.
I remember, it was on the.
I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I remember trying to watch it back in the 90s, and I stopped once they did the little plunger into the heart scene. It's like I can't take that. But when we reviewed it, I loved it.
That was probably wise. It did get worse. It probably was. But you think about it. You have Samuel Jackson's character. He experiences a miracle, right? He experiences a miracle. The guy comes out with the 2 guns. Okay, I was going to do another movie. This is the movie I'm doing now. Right? He comes out with the gun, and and the bullets don't hit him. And that great conversation with him and John Travolta, right? When he goes, "Are you saying God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets?" And yes, that's exactly it. And I actually think there is a. So what happened though, right? He experienced a miracle. He experienced a genuine miracle. And then he did what you're supposed to when you experience a miracle. He changed his life completely. There's a do you know the story of Elijah and the Mount Carmel?
Is that where he slaughtered the prophets? A Baal?
Prophets of Baal, right? But he didn't slaughter them. So the story is that the Baal was a very, very popular idolatry, and he wanted to show how powerless it was, right? So he had all the prophets of Baal that came out.
I love that story.
Great story, right?
Taunting the prophets.
Okay, my favorite moment in the Bible ever, right? This is my favorite, which I want to do as a comic book at one point. When the scene where Joseph hasn't revealed himself to be one of the brothers, right? And Judah's just stepped up and said, "Enough! I want Benjamin back. Enough!" Right? I imagine in the background, right? You have Shimon, glance at Levi. They both unbutton their swords, right? And one by one, they all unbutton their swords, and they're going to go to war against Egypt, right? They're just like, that's it, we're going. And keep in mind, Shimon and Levi took out the entire Shechem on their own. They're going, and so it's going to be a real war. They're one by one, they're unbuttoning their swords, they're all one out, and right at the point where they're about to go to war, Joseph says, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" Yeah, I love that. Anyway,
yeah.
So
I was going to say, so one of my favorite movies, and I showed my kids this whenever I taught high school, was Alfred Hitchcock's I Confess.
I never seen it.
It's a movie from the 50s, and it's a very Catholic movie. Basically, Montgomery Clift is in it. Carl Malden, or crap, I can't think of the name. Malden. A priest hears the confession of a murderer, and one of the things that the priest can never do is reveal what he hears in the confessional.
That's
known as the seal of the confessional.
Great premise of a movie.
No matter what happens, he can never reveal it. If I reveal what I said in the confessional, I would be excommunicated. And that's one of the sins that only can be absolved by the Pope. So the priest gets accused of the murder. And he goes on trial for it.
Wow.
And he can't defend himself.
Wow.
It's a 1950s movie. I loved it.
I've got to see that. That sounds fantastic. That sounds absolutely fantastic.
And you don't have to be Catholic to enjoy it.
Yeah, you don't have to be Jewish. That's the old expression. Fine. Let me just finish up the story of was it Elijah the prophet? Prophets are coming. So Elijah, they come out, they do all their idolatry, they do all their service, right? And nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. So then Elijah gets up. He gets they make a little what do you call it again?
Trench with water.
But no, it's called a pyre, right? They make a pyre.
Okay, yeah.
A sacrificial pyre. And then he says, pour water on it. Pour water on it. And then they do. And so he puts a small sacrifice there, makes a simple prayer, like a simple prayer. And a bolt comes from heaven, blows it up, and eats it up. And everyone's like, wow, right? So and it looks like he's won. He won the argument big time. But the prophets were right. The prophets of Baal said to him, yeah, enjoy this for today. People are going to forget it by tomorrow. Right? And that's the truth. People, unless you reiterate these things and strengthen these things in yourself every day. And this is why I think it's always good to like try and be good to other people. Try and do these things. Try and stretch yourself to be more. Because you do forget, and it's so that's why I was so impressed with Samuel Jackson's character Jules in Pulp Fiction, because he witnessed a miracle, he experienced a miracle, and most people like John Travolta blows it off. What happens to John Travolta? Gets killed the next day because he blows off the miracle. Right, exactly. They mess up with that, and they but Samuel Jackson lives because he walks away and he becomes like Kane in Kung Fu, which is the movie I've always wanted to see, which they would say never did. So there you go. Fine. So it's fine. Does anybody in the chat have anything you want to ask either of us? Because I really have to go in the next few minutes. And Father Miller, do you have any other quickie questions? Any other Dewey questions? Ask me anything.
I wish. I'll think of something for next week.
Yeah, next week we'll come with that. Okay, just before we go, a comic book I want to do at one point, right, is a Quentin Tarantino-esque Western, which would be essentially the story of Joseph and the brothers in Western form, which I think there's a lot of scope for that. I think that could actually, I think you could really transpose it to that world and be fantastic. But let me just say hello to anybody in the chat I missed. Lonnie Webb, how you doing? Cal Lynch, how you doing? Martin Gradwell, how are you? Snorter Popus Cuber, I love your name. I can't pronounce it, but I do love your name. It's so cool. Problem Big, how you doing? So nice to see you. Darren M is here. Sadaga24. He says the story of Jonah does include the epilogue where he gets home and immediately cancels subscription to Greenpeace. No, it didn't.
I just saw PD Rich's comment.
Where's that? I'm looking for it.
Emergency.
I can't find it. How far?
Emergency. No, just
3
now.
minutes, safe distance. Exactly. You don't want me to blow up.
Our Sabbath. I'm busy on my Sabbath, so.
Yeah, well, see,
we'll talk about it later.
I'm not busy on my Sabbath, which is why I really like it. It's so right now because I'm running this campaign. I love being offline. It's fantastic. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Next week we are on Father Miller's channel. If anybody has anything you'd like us to look at, and like us to talk about, get in contact or tell us in the chat. We're going to see everybody next week. By the way, of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to Father Miller's channel, it is in the chat. It's in the video notes, along with the link to my Indiegogo. Listen, I don't know if the apocalypse is coming, but I think the good Lord would smile upon you if you bought my comics. It's just an idea. Hedge your bet.
Just an idea.
That's an idea. Fine. I'm clicking the end broadcast button. Now I'm going to click it again because I'm a man of